There are those who dream of possibilities, of a world free of the ancient diseases that keep billions in poverty. And for those who strive to make that dream a reality, their quest is on the brink of victory. Every day around the world, 150 people die of rabies, a disease that is completely preventable. The health workers here at the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine are at the front line of eliminating this killer disease. 300,000 Filipinos visit bite centers like this every year. They know if the animal that has bitten them has rabies and they don't get the correct treatment, they will die.
Sorry, Bibo.
Bibo has been bitten by a dog, which may be rabid.
Buhay ang aso ngayon?
Opo.
Huwag papatayin ng hayop, lahat ng obserbahan sa aso, pati sa pasyente. Babasahin, ha? Tapos, sa kanya, category 3 yan. Pinakamataas na kategorya sa mga nakakagat ng aso at pusa. Pag sinabi natin category 3, ang tinatanggap 2 klase ng bakuna laban sa rabies. Ito, 4 na beses siyang babakunahan. Una ngayon, may 3 pa. Tapos yung isa pa niyang tatanggapin, ito yung importanteng sinasabi ko, yung ERIG na tinatawag o rabies immunoglobulin. Ito, 1 beses lang yan binabakuna, hindi siya pabalik-balik. Pero ang bakuna nito sa sugat mismo.
Hindi po siya pwede sa yung gilid po.
Hindi, sa sugat mismo.
A countrywide effort to rid the Philippines of rabies completely is centered around clinics like this.
The Animal Bite Clinic here at RITM is part of a system of bite centers all over the country. We see between 12 to 13,000 patients a year. Those are new patients, patients who are just starting their regimen. But more than that, there's probably twice that number for patients coming in for the follow-up shots.
So, paano siya dinakma ng aso? Ba't galit na galit?
Ano daw
Ano
po
ginawa mo, iho, doon sa aso?
Naglalakad lang po ako, bigla po akong hinabol, tapos sinunggaban po.
Hindi mo ba siya ano?
Hindi
yung
po.
tinadyo-tudyo?
Hindi po.
Nakatali ba siya?
Nakawala po.
So, magkano po ba yung Eric nyo? Hindi nyo afford? Hindi nyo po kayang bilhin?
Baka po hindi po kayanin gawa ng kailangan papuntahin daw po kaya.
The state pays for the first rabies treatment, but to be certain Bibo does not get rabies, he needs 3 more post-exposure injections, and these are expensive. Many people cannot afford these life-saving treatments.
Yung pong ano, ang alam ko po yung iba pag nakagat talagang yung para pong nasisiraan ng bait. Tapos sabi po nila wala na raw lunas, kaya yun po naisip ko na baka mangyari sa anak ko.
When you are bitten by a rabid dog, the virus stays first at the site of the bite, and then it travels to your central nervous system. Once it reaches your brain, then that's when you have the symptoms. It's 100% fatal. Once you have the symptoms, no, there's nothing you can do. But it's also 100% preventable.
Hindi pwedeng ano yan na marumi. Mami, support. Mami.
Dr. Betsy Miranda works with the Global Alliance for Rabies Control. As a leading researcher, she has witnessed the ultimate devastation of the rabies virus.
This is our rabies isolation room. It's at the end of the hall of this hospital. And this is where we confine full-blown rabies cases when they come to the emergency room. The last time I was here was a month ago, where I saw a young adult male patient, at the prime of his life, dying of rabies in this room. He was bitten by a stray dog in a slum area not far from here. And he was brought here already with full-blown rabies. And when I saw him, in fact, I heard him first from that side of the hall shouting in agony about when his suffering will end. And when I came to see him here, he was lying on all fours with his vomit around him, and the room was trashed. That room was trashed, and he was clearly in agony. And at that stage, most patients will die within 48 hours. So this room has seen hundreds of patients already. The Global Alliance for Rabies Control was established in 2007, initially as a small group to raise the awareness of the public and the general public and policymakers and health and agriculture sectors of the true burden of rabies, doing the social preparation, mass dog vaccination, dog population control, information and education campaign. We bring together many sectors to achieve one goal, eliminating human and animal rabies region by region, island by island by 2020.
Bibo and his family live in the Pamplona compound on the edge of Metro Manila, a city that has 1 million dogs.
Lahat sila dito, buong compound na to, parang isa lang sila. Kasi lahat sila, hindi naman sila hindi magkakaiba. Kahit po maraming aso dito, hindi naman po sila nangangagat. Ito lang po talagang, biglaan po talaga yung pangyayari niya. Kaya,
Malo ba naman yung sarap-sarap ng inuman namin? Ito nga, bulat nga kami. Laki. Taranta nga kami, yung isa nga, malis na lang.
Tapos nakahiga po na ako dun sa semento po. Tapos po binuhat po ako ng titnog, tapos tumakbo po siya. Tapos nakita po ako ni Mama. Nakita niya po itong sugat ko.
Tapos, nung kakagatin na yung bata, sa dibdib daw siya kakagatin, hinarangan niya ng kamay. Ngayon yung aso, nagpupumiglas ng ganyang ulo.
pumunta ako dyan, papunta sa kabilang nakita ko buat-buat na ng tito niya. Parang wala nang mala yung anak ko. Dinala na sa ospital, sa Pamplona Med.
Yun nga pong tricycle na sinakin ng anak ko, nilang magtito, dinala-dala yung resibo, 6'2" nga po eh. Saan po kukuha ng 6'2"? Edi ang tagal po, edi ang tagal namin doon, yun naman pong kasi nga, di ba ang pagkagat ng aso ngayon eh, delikado. Yun nga ang naano ko, kaya nga sabi ko nga sa may-ari, kung ibang tao nga lang po yun, hindi ko kaanuhin yun, siyempre apo ko po kahit na wala, umutang na ako hanggang sa pinapangako na hiya ko sa mga kumari ko, umutang ko dito sa may-ari ng tindahan dito sa hipag ko.
Inano naman siya, pagdating ko doon, nalinis naman na yung sugat niya, tapos na-injection na siya ng anti-tetano. Dinala po namin siya ng 4 sa RITM. Ayun pong may-ari ng aso dito po sa kapitbahay namin. Ang pangalan po ng aso, One Eye.
Alam ko po yung tao na nakagagat ng aso na may rabies. Kasi napanood ko yan sa TV, pinakikita, di ba, nakatali yung mga paa, nakatali yung mga kamay na nagwawala. Yung talagang ano ng aso.
Hello, One Eye. Hello. Buksan mo ang pinto, Sunny. Sunny. Hello. Hello.
Dito na lang po.
Kukunan lang naman ito.
Oh, behave.
Bibo's family has been advised to observe One Eye for the next 2 weeks for rabies symptoms like disorientation and aggression.
Lagyan mo sa bag. Tatlong ano pa raw po yun, tatlong injection.
Kala ko ba si Kuya Joe?
Pangkailangan niya, kaya parang hindi pa rin ako masyadong nakakampante na yung anak ko okay na. Namin, wala po talaga kaming hawak pa ngayon para sa follow-up check-up niya sa Webes. Kaya po, yun nga po talaga problema namin. Hindi po namin alam kung makakabalik kami ng Thursday sa ospital.
Diagnosing rabies in dogs is a critical part of the campaign to eliminate the disease, so the training of veterinarians is vital.
That's why you need a face shield in doing that one. Okay, next, you have to do here.
We do have a laboratory here that does testing for the animal's head, if it's rabies or not. And it's one of several laboratories all over the country, but this is like the main laboratory. It helps the other laboratories. So if the patient tells you that the animal is sick, so we teach them how to cut off the head of the biting animal and how to put it in an appropriate container and to bring it here, and then that will be tested.
And what he's doing is transferring it onto a tongue depressor. And he's making a dirty window. And then you can hold it up to the light and see if you've got enough. All you're doing is taking off some of the excess. Also, depending upon how the animal was killed, sometimes you can have a lot of blood associated with the brain. You don't want or need a lot of blood associated with this. You want a nice single layer, ideally, of neurons. More than 90% of the human fatalities are caused by the dog. This is one of the reasons why one of GARC's priorities of research is to improve our diagnostic capability. A vaccine on the global market for dogs, wholesale price is less than 25 cents US. Do the comparison, the health economics are clear. Vaccinate dogs, you'll relieve the burden of human rabies. Vaccinate people, it's the incurable wound. You'll be vaccinating people forever.
The training course was designed precisely to teach veterinarians in the field to do a proper diagnosis. This is important because we need to know where are the areas with the most number of cases where we need to provide more support and we need to prioritize intervention.
A delay in treatment due to poor diagnosis can be fatal.
If that was the real world, you killed somebody. It's whether or not a kid gets prophylaxis or not. One of the biggest challenges in regards to rabies is just the basic concept of neglect. Why are we a neglected disease? And unfortunately, from the standpoint of some human communicable diseases such as HIV or TB or influenza, some individuals in the geopolitical maelstrom basically decide not enough people die from rabies.
But too many people do die of rabies. Here at San Lazaro Hospital, the bite clinic sees up to 700 dog bite victims a day, and without crucial treatment, many more would die. Dr. Ferdinanda Guzman has been treating people dying of rabies for over 12 years.
This is where patients with rabies are usually admitted. Once patient gets in, he's locked inside and he can no longer leave the room until he dies. We allow the relatives, so look at the room, we can come in now because there's no patient. Look at how simple and how bare it is, no pictures. We used to have windows here. So we have had many rabid patients who jump from this window. They escape and they might bite other people. I particularly remember this 20-year-old pregnant female, 8 months, first baby. The husband did bring her for consultation to the health center or hospital. They brought her to the village quack. So this is whom we call as a tandok specialist. So a tandok specialist, you find them anywhere in the Philippines. They're specialists in they treat rabies, they treat hepatitis, they treat measles. So the husband brought her to the village quack, to the tandok specialist. Then 2 months after, she again manifested the signs and symptoms of the disease. By then, it was too late. So the relatives, the friends told him to bring his wife to San Lazaro for the proper treatment, hoping that we can still do something about her condition. But of course, we know it's a case of rabies, so it's 100% fatal. So the very young wife died in this room. And I remember the nurses gossiping. They were telling me that in less than a year's time, the husband might be looking for another wife because he was still young and he was good looking.
Bibo's family continues to borrow money for his treatments. Today is his second of 4 scheduled visits.
Follow-up check.
Follow-up na lang.
Apo.
Yeah. Hindi ko alam na nakagat to. Nakita ko na lang yung naka-band-aid na. Siya lang naglagay? Sana ang naglinis.
Eh, sabi nga po ng doktor, baka gutom na pagka malambuto kasi payat yung braso.
Nagtatawanan nga. Number 12, blue. Number 12, blue. Room 3 po. Morning, ma'am. Number 12. Pero pasok po.
The first vaccine was discovered by Louis Pasteur in a small laboratory in France. And it has come from the spinal cord of an infected animal.
At the end of the 1800s, the first successful inoculation was a young boy who was bitten by a dog while he was guarding livestock, Joseph Meister. What Pasteur found out from animal experimentation was by taking out the brain and spinal cords of animals and letting them dry, and taking the oldest dried material and successively inoculating so that the last dose was actually fresh brain material from a rabid animal containing obviously self-replicating rabies virus, that he was able to prevent rabies. And fairly soon thereafter, Pasteur was able to replicate his successes in other people, not only in France, but also around the world.
May lahi yun do? Ay, wag mo awakin. Teka lang.
Para po siyang ano.
Parang yung wolf?
Opo.
Siberian Husky? Parang ganon?
Parang wolf po.
Mabalahibo?
Isa lang po mata niya.
Okay? Okay.
Yung normally po, ang 4 doses po yun. Pero yung pang 4th dose po, depende po kung buhay or patay yung aso. 14 days after po siya makagat.
Apo.
Magbibilang po tayo ng 14 days.
Bale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Kung sa April 21, buhay yung aso, kahit wala na po tong May.
Through systematic programs and campaigns, the Philippines has eliminated rabies from one southern island. Now the focus is on the northern province of Ilocos Norte.
What we are doing here with the province of Ilocos Norte is working with the local government to strengthen their provincial rabies control program with the goal of ultimately and eventually eliminating altogether human and animal rabies cases. And we know that it is possible because we've done it in another province in the Philippines, Bohol, and we are trying to replicate the good practices and lessons learned from our initial pilot area in the Visayas.
Having a tie-up with an NGO is a very big help on us. It's been, if we did risk-based before, now we can do massive vaccination.
Buong Ilocos Norte at mauuna kayo, kayo ang magiging isang una sa mga probinsya na makakakontribute sa Rabies-Free Philippines. Huwag niyong maliitin ang contribution ninyo sa inyong sariling community. Pag kayo ay nagvo-volunteer, pag-register ng aso, pagtulong sa pag-organize ng dog vaccination, pagsali sa information and education campaign dahil lahat ng ito ay nagko-contribute sa isang mas malaking goal para sa ating lahat.
One of the major success stories here has been the local community approach to ask people what they want and ask people what their ideas are instead of telling people what to do, actually going in and having a dialogue, working with local leaders and community organizers to find out what are the best practices. When a child is lost from a community, you're affecting decades in that particular community, the lifeblood of that community.
Each year, rabies kills 55,000 people, most in the poorest parts of Africa and Asia, yet it's 100% preventable. In the Philippines, where there are 300 deaths a year, they are working to eliminate the disease by 2020.
May isang lawas nan, adadya kwartuna. Adadya kwartuna, kati ko na deti. Apa na rumwar ni manong nyo, kasta?
Rabies is 100% fatal if it enters a person's central nervous system. It's a disease no family wants to deal with.
Mga asim nang hang nakamakarwaran ko na nata. Yung pangasim man nang, kaman labasi sibugan DJ CR ko na. Apay ko naket. Ibaga na nga, basta yung ka sibugan DJ ada CR katanggan kabuteng ko danom ko na. Kuanan, dedi rabies ang namapanyan di kuanan. So nga nagdanag kanimot di konser.
Kat
Agbalawa kun ata sa balimot ti itsuranan, sir. Napanak nagsursuka dahil yung doktor no. Adamot lang pag-asa dahil di kapsat ko nga. Agbiag pa lang, ma'am, kasjay. Idi amok nga sarita danta nagtutungtong ti doktoran, ma'am, nga kasla agingala 24 hours ti kastanti biyagnan. Itimot kwangatan, ma'am, iti bigatan. Nagmalam ta 1.5 day nat iti hospital. Idi kastingatan, ma'am, kat agdanag ti baginan sa dumakkel ti matanan. Tapos idi siguro mahulog ti baginan, ma'am, nga kastan ko na agpakadaan kay mga lati. Padin ko na, ma'am, kada kami. Han manong agkararag ka, barang mo makasurvive ka pa yun namin kung para, sir. Siyempre, nasakit ka na kami, ma'am, na may sanakad sa mga lalaki.
Ellen!
There's a feeling of choking, so this is why there's aerophobia and hydrophobia, because of the paralysis of the throat muscles and the difficulty of breathing, the uncontrolled struggling, and just the madness. It's because of the infection in the central nervous system. Every time there is a rabies patient, I get my team to interact, to witness a rabies patient and the agony of family. So it is important that even laboratory aid appreciates that what he does contribute to the prevention of such cases.
In the fight to eliminate rabies in the Philippines, Betsy and her colleagues work closely with local communities. They need to engage everyone, including traditional healers who play an important role in the rural areas.
Ilocano te, sumsuma ko na rin. Sumsuma.
Kailan po huling may bumisita sa inyo na nakagat ng aso?
Kahapon.
Kahapon lang? Okay. In the Philippines, there are specialists called tandok. These are faith healers or traditional healers. People will come and seek consultation with a traditional healer before coming to a healthcare facility. So this is the challenge we face when it causes delay of appropriate and timely treatment when a patient would go first to a traditional healer. There has been a move in the Philippines now through the Department of Health to get them into the fold of the rabies prevention and control program.
Padugiin ko ng padugiin, tapos lalagyan ko yung... May gamit kami kasi dito na kinukuha sa bundok, yung kahoy na pangsuma. Ano nga ito? Pag-ispatan na. Dete. Ilagay ko sa sugat, kuskusin ko rin ng isa ko ikabil ijay kapas nga adabasin na kandetoy. So itapal ko iti sugat.
Okay. Nagbibigay din po kami ng mga impormasyon sa mga community. Ito po ay isang leaflet na tungkol sa Rabies Free Philippines. Ang Global Alliance for Rabies Control, ang Provincial Government ng Ilocos, ang Department of Health, at Department of Agriculture, at saka Department of Education ay katrabaho po namin sa kaisa namin sa pagdating sa Rabies Free Philippines sa 2020. Kaya din po nakiusap kami na makausap kayo ay sana makasama namin kayo dito sa programang ito. Kasi alam namin, marami sa mga nakakagat ng aso, kayo ang unang pupuntahan bago pumunta sa doktor. So dapat sana kayo din ay panggalingan ng tamang impormasyon nila.
Yung nakakita kay ti pasyente nga tao nga adda rabies nan?
Un, ma'am.
Yung natay nga tao, gapo ti rabies? Kasano?
Pasyente pa
Ay, naging pasyente yun ay dyan.
Well, ngayon tidaka saan na nga tinanggad di imbagak.
So meron adda ti sinusunod.
Adda tanggadin na pa, ma'am. Ma'am, nga nakaanakin agman din. Agman di kabuting nat silaw, kabuting nat danom.
Ti importante tatakat, da kayo as a traditional healer, hamim nga i-discount di contribution nyo iti programa. Kan importante tataket ano man DJ DJ aramidan nyo adalat ako mamet DJ kaakibat nga panangkita da iti doktor ti tao.
Ano yan po yung mga tungkol sa rabies. Manong, pakibasa po ha para maintindihan nating mabuti ang programa at makatulong kayo sa amin. Makatulong din kami sa inyo ha, Manong.
Tatang, napigsapil ang mata magbasa?
Kasi na po, bis mabasak pa.
Ilocano matkit din na tatang. Ilocano pa yun. I had a relative who died of rabies way back when I was still a child. That cousin was bitten by a dog and she was not attended to by a doctor. And through that also had an imprint on me, and with the loss of that family, of that cousin of mine, it became an advocacy on my part to do work for rabies elimination when the time comes. So this is the right time, I believe, with the support of the Global Alliance for Rabies Control and with the administration of our local chief executives in the province as well as in the municipality and the barangays or the villages. We will achieve. We have to achieve that.
To achieve this goal of rabies elimination, Loida, Betsy, and their teams dive into their next campaign.
Be careful with the dog
Nakagat siya. Safety first.
Also,
Safety first.
be mindful of the cold chain, of course. Every single dose of vaccine is important in our program. And ABTC. Go na, let's go. Rabies.
Dapat 90% ha? O 100%? Go.
Rabies free.
Rabies
free.
To eliminate rabies in humans, it must be eliminated in dogs. Dog vaccination rates of even 75 to 80% can achieve this. As part of the campaign in Ilocos Norte, dog vaccinations are provided for free.
Very good. Yan, tapos na. Okay. Awan na sumasabalin? Vaccination of dogs plays an important role. So, Jen live here, and so with our other staff are working together. We are just dividing ourselves into groups so we can maximize our presence here.
Thank you.
Most of them are now vaccinating. So before, we're only covering about 35% vaccination coverage, but last year we got at least 70% of the population.
Tinglam dyan dyan ulo na. Yan, tinglam dyan ulo na dito. Dito tinglam. Okay, sige. Good dog. Dito na dlaw ni. See? Tapos na. Tapos na. Anti-rabies, ading.
Dakan pa may isa.
Nakikita nyo, dahil ubing, kasi dahil pinangigam yung mayat. Ops. Mamamad lang.
Ano ba? Dakan pa may isa.
Nakailan tayo, ubing. I-jot down mo, DJ ko talo, dito na bakunaan nga households.
Awanen? 17 plus yung 3 dogs doon sa blue house ko naman.
At the time that we established the veterinary research department, the problem of zoonotic diseases or diseases that people get from animals was not recognized. It was not appreciated as an important burden to public health. And during the time that we were doing the research and finding out the true burden of zoonotic diseases like rabies and showing that it is as important as many other infectious diseases in the Philippines and in fact in the region, we were able to raise the awareness of people and the appreciation of decision makers, policy makers, both in the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Agriculture, of this problem, and that there is a need to address this problem and to invest more.
Anong nangyari sa'yo? Hindi kasi yung kandok, hindi kasi yung aso na binabakunahan ko ang nakuha.
Nag-rescue yung isang aso.
Nag-rescue siya ng isang aso.
Hindi, ito yun na.
Uy, meron isa. Kailan yung last vaccination?
November 2011. Kasi we got yung ano siya, partly healthy dog, hindi takbo.
Dok. Kaya lang, Dok, ang aso na yun is twice na siyang kumagat din.
I was bitten dito sa puwet yun. While I was vaccinating another dog, the same circumstance.
Pamonitor natin yung aso, yung... Pero binakunahan mo ba?
Text every day. Nakuha mo yun. Text every day how, yung nag-observe ng dog.
Agad sa amin.
Pero we can give you the first booster, shot as soon as we get back to her.
With the campaign in the north proving successful, the challenge is to spread it across the Philippines. Rabies can be beaten. The science, the medicine exists. The key is to apply it successfully and prevent unnecessary deaths. Because when that medicine is not given in time, the deaths are unbearable.
Paano po yung itinuturo?
Pampakalma po. Sedative. Sir, bibigay lang po akong gamot. Ha? Taas ko lang po Ito na po, bibigay ko na po Okay po.
Yung aso nasa ilalim yata ng yung may parang may tubig na nakahiga. Tapos binuhat niya, kala niya yung aso nung kasamahan sa trabaho. Nung buhatin niya kinagat na siya. Kala niya yun
Nakatali ako. Hindi ako mabubuhay.
Nung pagkatapos siguro hindi nga po kasama siguro hinugasan tapos pinadugo daw niya, tapos kinuskus ng bawang, ganyan, sa bukid.
Ano hinihintay pa? Pinakatapos pa ako. Hinihintay na rin akong hirap na nga ako. Ako na may nahiling. Nakarasan bago ako umatay. Kala kayo, ako namin, nahiling Ako hirap na. buhay. Kalasan mo akong tayo yun ang kaginawaan ko.
Kaya, hindi ko na nga alam kung anong gagawin diyan.
At the terminal stage of illness, within the last 48 hours, they will fall into these fits of madness and struggling. And then suddenly, they will become lucid and you are able to speak to them. And that is really the hard part when you hear them share their thoughts about their fear of dying and why this has ever happened to him and him or her family, and that if there is at all any hope that he can be cured. So these lucid moments also are very moving. They are, you see the humanity and the hardship that a patient feels. And then they will again fall into fits of madness when you see that they're like out of their mind and struggling.
Wala na ako sakit. Nakatawag para makaganaw. Ba't ako nakagap?
Para sa safety niyo yan, baka may ninyo ang inyong katawan sa pader
Kung mahilig ko, kanina ko pa ibinarog Ari na rabies na iniluluwa ko. Kaya lang po, rabies.
Sa ibang sakit, hindi ka man lang binigyan ng pagkakataon kahit 1% lang. 100% ganun kaagad. Pero sana sa awa ng Diyos makarecover naman. Kung sana yung 100%, sana naman mabuwasan ngayon yung sinasabi ng doktor.
Rabies naman kasi hindi nakakahawa kung wala ka pang sintomas ng katulad dun sa tatay mo. So, ikaw, hindi ka nakakahawa. Ang kailangan mo lang is magkaroon ng bakuna. Gets mo? So, magiging nakakahawa ka lang kung umabot ka na dun sa point na katulad dun sa tatay mo na mayroon ng ganyang klaseng sintomas.
Kasi yun nga, kaya una itanong, uwi ako sa amin, may mga anak kong bata, mga asawa ko.
Walang problema doon. Pero kailangan mo ng bakuna. Okay.
I've seen patients attempt suicide because of that feeling of despair towards this stage of disease.
Rambo, ayun. Ayun. Ito si Tata.
People die of the disease because they're poor. One of the priorities of research is to bring this burden to the forefront and convince international leaders that this is something that is manageable. It's this kind of approach, central place vaccination, where people are alerted days ahead of time, both by loudspeaker and by leaflets, and they voluntarily bring their dogs here with volunteers who will vaccinate them. And so it's a win-win for the community, for the people, for the dogs as a whole. It's really a way working together works to get rabies controlled in a country that has a very large burden of the disease.
I've seen so many people, a few hundreds of human rabies cases, and some animals suffering from this disease, that this is my motivation for continuing to work on the prevention and eventual elimination, because I know that it is possible that a country, an endemic country like the Philippines, can eradicate rabies from the animal source and eventually reduce and completely eliminate human rabies cases.
Si Bibo po, okay naman po siya. Hindi katulad ng dati, talagang iniinda pa niya yung sakit ng kanyang sugat. Ang naramdaman ko po nung takot, kasi sa mga nakikita ko sa mga nakakagat ng aso, mayroon pong parang naglalaway, nasisiraan ng bait, tsaka yung iba na mamatay. Pero nung, ayan, medyo magaling ng kanyang okay na. Parang wala na, hindi na ako masyadong takot na may mangyari pa kay Bibo.
Wala na po siyang masakit. Hindi na po siya nasakit. Kaya ko na rin po siyang ituwid. Takot na po ako. Pag nakakakita po ako ng lumalayo na po ako.